Hello, everybody. And this is Sam Shiner or Shiner Sam, and we are back. Me and the Pentatonic boys, James and Stu. We're back with the second series of Nobody Talks Anymore podcasts, and we've got some good ones lined up, haven't we?
Oh, we've got some amazing guests on this series. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too.
And we've got us on as well. So
we've got what?
The best already.
Yeah.
What did you say, James?
We've got us on. So we're
us. Sorry,
us.
It's just like a north-south language barrier. We've got us on. Who's us? Oh, it's nice to see you guys. So the last time that I saw you two was it the 4th of October in Manchester?
I don't know the date.
It was a while ago. It could have been the 6th of October. It was the first weekend, wasn't it, in October?
Yeah. So I went up to Manchester to host a live Nobody Talks Anymore podcast. We had a great night, didn't we? Even though one of the band, Paul Stanley's, came down with COVID and couldn't come.
Yeah. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? Someone was going to get it, you know.
Well, I'm glad they didn't show up now, to be honest.
Yeah, it was worse. But yeah, we managed to make do, especially we had to do one through video, which was only organised on the day. So that was some quick tech knowledge to get that to work, wasn't it?
And the nightmare with the TV as well, hanging it on the bracket.
Yeah.
But nobody died and it all went to plan, so
I think it went as well as could be. Yeah, I really loved it though. It was like my first night out proper since March, so it was really good fun.
Well, it was a great night. It was. I'm just glad it all went to plan in the end. I think we had a few.
Know.
Yeah, I nearly cancelled it about 5 times that week before we got to the event.
How many times I talked you down from it?
I know. I was like, oh, I'm not sure. Honestly, all these cases going up, I'm not sure it's a good idea. Me traveling all that way, but no, it's fine. I didn't catch COVID, so we're all good.
I know. I think we were all right. I think.
Yeah.
All things considering.
At the top of the stairs, so.
Yeah.
So you've
hosted
Yeah, you've hosted a lot of gigs, haven't you, at Lion's Den? Not just that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done quite a few outside, especially when it was starting off in the summer. So when did we open? July, I think we was allowed back in.
Yeah, it was the 11th of July.
Oh,
I didn't have it wrote down. Knew it off the top of my head.
James. Yeah, so we were doing them every weekend there, all afternoon. So it was good. They were going really well, quite a good crowd. Because nobody was really doing.
That's the trouble now, isn't it? Because it's winter and cold that people don't really want to go out and sit outside. But during the summer, that was such a nice thing for people, just to go and enjoy a bit of normality, some live music. But that was the first live music that I've seen since March. And it was just weird, just being sat down. But you got to just take what you can, haven't you, at the moment?
Yeah, it's better than nothing, and it's better than sort of watching it through live stream. I was reading something the other day that was saying live streams are going to be the way forward even after COVID, and I hope it's not. I hope the norm comes back to that venues.
Yeah, I think people just taking what they can, but I don't think that should be a norm. Although some of the live gigs have been really good. Did you see Liam Gallagher's one?
Yeah, you watched it, didn't you, James?
I borrowed Stu's projector and had it on the wall. A few drinks.
Did you actually?
I did. Yeah, it was like a proper gig. Turned all the lights off, made it dead dark, blasted it through the PA system. It was like being there. It was amazing.
So I saw a funny meme the other day. Someone had bought one of those the barriers at the front of a gig to put in their front room. Just throw a load of beers about, be like you're there at a gig.
Bucket hat, Parker, the lot.
Yeah, it was good though. It's a really good gig, and I've seen quite a few of them. But the Melody VR gigs, the streaming,
they were weird.
Did you have the ones at Brixton where you can literally control the camera?
I watched the Blossoms one, and that was it was being in the middle, and you could just sort of pan around and see the whole band. It was
I just spent the whole gig just changing the positions. It was just I was like a kid. I was like, oh my god, this is so fun. I'm just going to stand to the left of the stage, and
you don't have to stay crammed at the side near the bar just to get a drink when you can do it like that.
Yeah, snip to the fridge.
Do you know what? That's the one good thing anyway. At least we've not spent so much money. Although all I've been doing is just buying records and stuff,
T-shirts and hoodies and merch. That's what I've done. Just spent a load of money on because all the money goes to the bands at the end of the day. So
exactly,
I think they needed it this year because obviously you can't gig or anything, and release it. People haven't been releasing as much music as they usually would because they can't get into the studio because no one knows what tier they're in. So, you know, it's been a tough year for bands. So it's nice to be able to support them and buy merch. But
Amen.
they'll be rich now whilst I'm skint because
yeah, I know that feeling. I think it was like back in May that I budgeted I think it was like 150 quid, and I just said, like, I've got £150 and I'm going to just buy loads of merch from unsigned bands. Like, just hit me up with your links, like t-shirts and stuff like that. So yeah, records and things. So yeah, I just spent 150 quid on. Then I went overboard because I felt really guilty because a lot of people are like, oh, can you buy this? And I'm like, shit, I've kind of hit my limit now, but okay.
Guilting you into it.
more like 500 quid. No, it wasn't that bad. But no, like you say, it's really good to support them. So we've got a few things to talk about today on our first podcast in a while. So James, you have been hosting a new radio show. Yes. Lim Radio, is that right?
I'm here right now in Studio 2 at Lim Radio HQ. And so I've been hosting the new music show on Lim Radio every Tuesday night, 8 till 10. Little cheeky plug there.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's just online. You can listen www.limradio.co.uk, and we're basically just playing loads of new music from the local area and further afield as well. But yeah, no, it's been great. Been doing it since October. It's me and Ollie, who's the front man of Uno Mas. Or
Uno
as Sam
Mars.
likes to call them Uno Mars. Like Bruno Mars, but Uno. So yeah, me and Ollie have been doing the show since October, and we've just had a laugh doing it. You know, I think the key to it is to just sort of be yourselves and have a bit of a laugh. That's what we try and do. Not take it too seriously, but still be able to promote those bands. And
definitely,
yeah, I've had some great feedback as well, which is nice.
I've listened to one of your first shows I tuned into. But I've been doing a lot of radio myself as well, so I know the feeling. And I'm going to go live as well next month for the first time.
Oh yeah, have you never done a live?
No, it's always pre-recorded. So yeah, I've got all the gear now, just no idea.
Oh well, we prefer doing it live. So I don't know how you'll feel because you've done it. We did it live and then pre-recorded for 4 weeks, and we just didn't enjoy pre-recording it. I think live, it's a bit so you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth next.
Exactly. And I said, yeah, and a lot of my radio shows as well that I find, because I'm normally sat here like on a Monday night planning a Saturday afternoon when everyone's drunk kind of radio show, and it's really hard to sound like enthusiastic about it. So I'm like, oh, I'm really tired from work.
We tried doing one a while ago with the Pentatonic. It was through some app, and that was pre-recorded, and it was just pieced together afterwards, and it was just so hard to try and sound excited about like the song, and then wasn't actually playing the song because I was trying to just record the voice bits. So it was like, oh, so next up we got this, and then I press pause, and then I go, oh, that's great. And I've not actually listened to the song in between. So.
That's what I do, and I'm like, that is such a great song by so and so, and I'm like, I don't even listen to it. All I did was just download the MP3 and then just do my voiceover bit. I don't even listen to the song, but then I always listen to it back after, and somehow. Every single radio show that I've done this year, I've probably done, I don't know, maybe 30 or something. I've made a mistake in every single one, like missed out someone's song, or just got the running order incorrectly, or just something's gone wrong. But it's good fun, isn't it? It's good fun, James.
Yeah, well, we make mistakes all the time. We did one last night, and I think the whole show was it was one massive mistake. We just couldn't get our words out. And we've just been slagging people off on our show. We slagged Chris Evans off the other week.
Did you?
Which isn't great because we've been invited to, Uno Mas are playing Carfest next year, which is his festival. So me and Ollie have been slagging Chris Evans off, and then we've got to turn up to his festival next year and try and be all supportive.
Don't worry about it. Just wing it. You won't know. Don't worry about it.
No one's bothered, are they? So
no. So speaking of Uno Mas, haven't you just taken over the management of them?
Yeah, I've just started managing him. I thought because me and Ollie do the show together, we're always discussing ideas for the show and the band. So then I thought, well, it kind of been in the works since they formed as a band, but I thought we'd make it official. While we've got nothing else to do during COVID, we thought, I know, let's a little nice post for social media to say I started managing him.
We've pretty much been doing it for like, I don't know, about 2 years or so, before they were Uno Mas, when it was like Ollie Thornton and the Shirts. We was like sorting out all the gigs, and because James knows him, like, because they live near each other, we was pretty much doing that together for a while. So now James had just took over it as like an actual official title. We've been with them for quite a while, really.
So Stu, like, we were going to talk about how the Pentatonic, like how it even started, like why and how did you ever start this?
Well, it actually kind of like, the Pentatonic's been around for longer than, well, not longer than me, not like 27 years. It started before I joined.
Been around for about 100 years, I think.
It's not about...
it's been in my family for years. I've taken it over from my dad.
It's been passed down. Like a present.
I'm crying. That's hilarious. Just my coffee.
I'll word it better. So it was actually started by a guy called Sam, and he started off doing, good name. I was doing photography, doing it for a few different magazines, like I was doing it for like Fortitude magazine down in London and a few others. Started it off with the Pentatonic, and it just sort of coincided with the bands he was managing. So he was managing Spin, and then he started working at Modern Sky. So it sort of coincided with he was just too busy, and I had a lot of free time. So I took over it there, and I kind of just started putting on gigs and trying to just promote the music, because I was in a band many years ago that we're just selling loads of tickets but not getting out of Manchester. So it's just trying to get that extra step for bands and trying to do it more from that perspective of just building people up. And then met James in a fox costume.
What?
I know. There's a story behind it. I don't just dress as a fox at the weekend. Well,
one night at 4 a.m. I was walking through the streets of Manchester and I found this fox. And inside was James.
It wasn't far off. It wasn't far off, that.
Yeah, so like one of the bands, they were called Sly Antics. It's now Sam who does Hudson. James was like, sort of, I don't even know what you'd class yourself a follower.
I was helping him out, basically.
But yeah, he was dressed as like a fox, and then emailed me with some work with another band from Bruxino, and then just from there started joining me on sort of putting on gigs, writing reviews, and we've just made a mess of it ever since then, really.
Yeah.
And then ended
up taking over the world.
That's it, innit? Just wing it. I just wing everything that I do.
Yeah, I feel like we've done quite a few good things. Like we've had some.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, we've done, like, we don't know what we're doing, we still don't, and I think that's why a lot of bands like working with us. Though,
I don't think any of us ever know what we're actually doing.
Yeah, like we're just as drunk as the band, so it flows. Yeah. But yeah, we're trying to like nail it down, but also trying to like do it. This isn't our day job. We're not here to try and take loads of money. We're not here to like, you know, like these companies which are obviously having to take all the money because that's how they get their wage. We're not. We're trying to just put on new bands and get new bands listened to, and trying to go about it a different way to sort of everybody else.
Well, that's our shared passion, because that's what I try and do as well. Like I don't do it for money. Not one thing I've ever done for a band has been for money. It's always just been about helping them, because I think they need it. It's just really difficult nowadays because there's just so many bands, and it's just really difficult for them to try and get themselves heard. But I think it's important for them to get out of their cities and to like try and go to gigs in other cities with other upcoming bands. I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of like we've done, like with the first Nobody Talks Anymore show, we had photographers put work up on the wall, and we're trying to just showcase a bit of everything. And it's not just about the bands. There's more than just the bands within the industry. There's the promoters, and there's a lot. We've had a lot ourselves. Like, oh, you're just doing it to get money. You know, out of all the gigs we've done, I think we've got about 100 quid profit off about 3 years of doing it. There's no money in it.
No, even this feeling as well. Like this feeling that they, like Mikey, I'm good friends with Mikey from this feeling, but even he says like there's no money in it really. No, like they just kind of like break even from it. But they also do like loads of the unsigned gigs around the country, but they do it mostly just because they want to help people.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what a lot of people within the industry are. Some people are in it to make the money, but you can tell them straight away. But a lot of the people are there just trying to enjoy themselves, and we're trying to promote that as well. And just not just about, oh, we're the Pentatonic, you've got to come work with us. It's like, oh, we like what you're doing, go do this. We like what you're doing. And with the bands we manage, we try and do that. It's not a case of, oh, you've got to play a gig for us. It's a case of, oh, this is the best gig. Go do this gig. So I think that's the kind of way the Pentatonic has sort of grown and is going to continue to grow, hopefully, when we can do more stuff next year.
So what other bands do you have on your roster that you manage and look after?
Well, they've all left me. I have
These all split up.
We've gone to the Fox.
But yeah, there's Uno Mas, Broke Casino, Working
Recreation.
Partly, aren't you? So.
But you can't forget the Recreation.
I know.
And the Recreation. Owen won't be happy with me missing that.
No,
he would not. He would not be happy.
He's not going to be happy with that. He wasn't happy yesterday when I put the Recreation at number 10 on the radio show of our top 20 of 2020. He didn't like that one either. That didn't go down well.
I love the Recreation. They're so good.
Yeah, we've done some really cool stuff with them so far, and they're still starting out. I think they've been around for quite a few years, but in my eyes, they're still starting out, and they're going to get bigger. And
oh my god, there's no doubt. Like once someone in the right place hears of them, like that last EP, like it just blew my mind. It was absolutely incredible. One of my most listened to things this year.
Yeah. And that's it. Well, that EP was Owen recorded that himself from his bedroom. So if that's good, then the next single is going to be even better because it's going to be done in a proper studio and produced by a really good producer. And it's going to come out next year. Finally, they were meant to record it in November, I think, just before we went into lockdown. And I think Owen's brother got tested positive. So he then had to isolate. So then we lost the slot at the studio. So they couldn't record the new single. So we're now waiting to get back in the studio so they can record this next single that has been planned for ages now. So we just want to get it done and get it out there for people.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. It feels like, when was their EP, their test EP released?
Their EP was out in the summer.
I was going to say, it feels like ages ago.
Yeah, it was towards the end of lockdown, I think. And then the actual last single, Do You Want Me, was in March. It was like the week before the original lockdown, because they were meant to go on like a 16-date tour across the UK that we booked. And we did the first date in their hometown in Oldham. And then I think like 2 days after, we went into lockdown and the whole tour got cancelled. So we're now in the process of rebooking it for next year in the hope that we can do it then. But it's just been tough, and it's been tough for all bands to try and create content. Obviously, the Recreation have created this EP, and they've been able to do that. But a lot of bands haven't been able to do stuff like that, like Broke Casino. With them, they all live in different places. So it's been really hard for them because you can't really do stuff over Zoom. Like you can't record a song over Zoom. I know you can do covers and stuff, but it's just, if it's not bang on, you don't want to release it. So I think the tough thing has been not being able to actually do anything, but they're going to have a better year next year. So,
fingers crossed. We've got this Oxford vaccine news today, so that's hopeful.
It's promising.
Yeah, it's just going to be like my nan officially on the 12th. Well, she's got her second vaccination on the 12th of January. So that's kind of like when my mum got the email from my nan saying, "Oh, Nan's got her first vaccination booked." I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, and then after the second jab, like she will officially be COVID immune, and that for me is like the start of the end. Yeah. It made me really emotional. I was like, I can't believe I can go up to her and hug her and it's all right.
Yeah, so, my mum's had her first dose and then she's having hers in January. So, and it feels like a big thing, like because obviously it's been such a rubbish year. So to finally have this vaccine and them rolling it out to people is brilliant. It kind of does feel like the light at the end of the tunnel, and that we're going to get gigs back.
Yay! And we don't have to sit down and we can all hug each other.
Yes. And we're all piled into a sweaty little room.
Can't wait.
So much like love for just people's sweat on you, which is such
I can't wait for a bloke to be next to me stinking of BO. I can't wait.
Woo! BO man. Yeah.
It will be good, won't it? To get some kind of, I think it'll probably be a gradual thing. I think from what I can tell is that once the majority of people have been vaccinated, like over 60%, and obviously all of those will be the vulnerable people, that they should be able to relax restrictions quite a lot.
Yeah, theoretically, I'm hoping, because there's quite a few things been rearranged for summer, especially outdoor ones, that we can get back. Like, because I've got like Jerry Cinnamon at Hampden Park booked, and with that being outdoor, I'm hoping that'll be a bit more allowed because you've got the air and stuff. So I have a feeling that sort of stuff will be allowed before, you know, like your indoor venues, just because of like the air. But there's not really been anything about it. Like, even like the big companies were all expecting it to be like April, and that's not happening now. So I think everyone's still a bit unsure, aren't they?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of gigs announced at the moment for like April or May, and I just think it's too early to try and plan a gig for like April, May, like for the bigger bands, because you're just so uncertain whether it's going to happen. But who knows?
A lot of venues like that we've tried booking have said we're not going to do it if there's reduced capacity, because it's just not viable for them to bother opening with half the amount of people in there, because they get a fee for like off the promoter for opening, but that doesn't cover the cost of it. They need all them people in there drinking and actually getting involved. So if you've got 100 people in like a 200 to 300 capacity venue, it's just not going to happen. So I think we need to, for it to get back to normal, we need to have everybody back in there.
Yeah, you're right. So have you got any shows booked for next summer, or are you still in the pipeline?
Oh, that'd be telling.
Is it a secret?
There's a few that have sort of been booking, but again, like we don't want to announce anything until we know, because we don't want to just keep cancelling and postponing. It's not fair on the band. It's not fair on buying tickets and then can't go. So, but yeah,
We've already cancelled loads this year as well. So I don't think we want to announce more and cancel more, because we're sick of rescheduling stuff. So we just want to know.
You reschedule it, and then the reschedule gets cancelled, and you're just putting it off, and eventually people just lose the excitement. But there is quite a few big bands that we've in the process of sorting gigs out with. So there will be.
We shall keep our eyes peeled and hope for some good news soon.
Big things coming soon. We've been plotting during lockdown of what we're going to do next year, and we've got some big things in the pipeline. We were meant to do Dot Dot Festival. We were meant to have a stage at Dot Dot again this year. We had one last year, and it was a big success. And then we were meant to do it this year, and we were actually looking at maybe 2 stages, and we were getting really excited, getting ready to book it, and then bang, it's all just taken away from us again. So.
Do they have Dot Dot in Manchester? Because they have it in Bristol.
Yeah, they have it in.
Is it Manchester, Nottingham, and Bristol?
Bristol, that's it.
Has it always been Manchester? Because I thought it was just Nottingham and Bristol before. Is it
all in Manchester?
Oh, do you know what? Dot Dots are great, but it's such hard work because you're constantly like. Because with me, I want to see as much music as I can. So you're looking at these venues like, okay, here. But it's such a good idea, like just opening a city up for the day and just having loads of great bands playing. Yeah,
it's really good. And the way they set it up is really good, because you buy a ticket and you get into all the main venues, but there's actually quite a few small venues which are free to get in. So even if you've not, I don't know whether this is meant to be publicised, but it happens. But there's quite a lot of like free smaller venues that you can just go in and you get to see all like the unsigned bands that you just never heard of before. So it's good for people just on the fringe of it who aren't willing to pay the money to go for a festival where they don't know the headline band, but can still go see loads of unsigned music. So I think it's a really good setup.
Definitely. And it means for the venues as well, because a lot of the time it's on a Saturday, isn't it? So obviously those venues probably would have been open on a Saturday anyway. So they can't just say, right, no, you're not coming in. No, that's a good idea. I approve of that. So hold on, let me just quickly check my little thingy.
I've forgotten next.
Right, hold on. We've done the radio
mastermind
show.
This.
Oh, what are the favourite gigs that you promoted then as a Pentatonic? What have been your favourite ones? Obviously the one with me, but second.
Yeah, that was a good one. I've got loads. I'll say mine first.
Started off with a few sellouts, didn't you, James?
You watched that?
For me. Your first few gigs were sellouts, weren't they? Which was like really good.
Don't like to brag or anything, but my second ever gig that I ran for the Pentatonic was a sellout. So that was Narrow Margin, who have gone on to pretty big things, and they played for us at the Star and Garter in Manchester in November 2018. It was, that was a really good gig, but I celebrated a little bit too much, and Stu had to pretty much put me on a tram home, and I tried to give all of the money away to I don't even think it was Narrow Margin, was it? I think it was one of the support bands.
Maybe just passing it off.
I was just giving people money. That was two cans of Red Stripe for £5. That wasn't a good night.
Yeah,
Well,
Obviously, Red Stripe, that's dangerous, isn't it? Cheap booze, just because why? Because it's cheap. Do we think we've got to drink like double the amount?
Yeah.
I'll get money's worth. I'll have 10, please.
It was one of James's lad. Well, it was obviously like his second gig working with me, and I was like, "Oh, I've got this lad in who's going to help out." And then watching, I was like, "I've done wrong here." I can't handle it.
Still a sellout though.
He's got better at it since. So.
Well done though. That's a brilliant achievement. I promoted a gig last year, and I know how hard it is. A lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard graft.
Yeah,
so that's good.
It really is. And actually, if anyone wants to see that gig, Narrow Margin, their single Oxford Street, there's a music video. Yeah, there's a music video on YouTube, and it was filmed at that gig. So you can see like behind the scenes footage, and at some point on it, you can see me partying hard right at the back. So if you want to see me celebrating the sellout gig, go and check it out.
I'm going to check that out. It's like Callow Youth played at my gig last year. You know Callow Youth?
Yeah.
And they had a song called Red Leather, and they had like this promo like little video thing, and it's just literally me like dancing around to my hat at the gig, but like from behind like a shadow, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so cringe, because I was proper going for it as well. It's just so bad.
Thinking no one was watching you.
Oh god, I knew everyone was watching. I was just like you, I was just really excited to be there
in the moment.
Yeah, totally.
Nothing better than that.
A few videos recorded at our gigs. Attic Doctors did one, and I think Our Fool did one when they played to us as well. It seemed to just be like, I don't know whether just because they're quite busy and like we allow them to sort of do what they want. So there's quite a lot of music videos recorded at our shows, which is good.
That's really good. So what was your favourite then, Stu? Your favourite ever gig?
I don't know. I think probably like the one that was more surprising I quite enjoyed was the Attic Doctors at Eagle Inn. So it's a little venue.
Yeah.
And we've done a few gigs with them. And like they have like very rowdy crowd. And we came, and this room holds about 60 at a push, and there must have been about 80 because people were on shoulders and everything. It was mental. So that was like a crazy, like, just wasn't expected. I think there'd been about 10 tickets bought before the actual doors, and everyone just turned up and piled in.
That's brilliant. Those type of gigs are great, aren't they? I love the tiny gigs. They're probably what I miss the most, to be fair, like the really intimate gigs rather than the stadium gigs.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a different thing. I think once you hit to a certain point, you sort of lose it. Like the MEN in Manchester, I can't. Big venue, everyone wants to play, but you miss the atmosphere that you get in like the Ritz and stuff like that. Like, it's not the same once you pass a certain peak, is it?
I think like the size of the Ritz is probably like where you're going to get the good atmosphere, and then once you get any bigger, it's kind of more a commercial thing, isn't it? Rather than. But mind you, the Stone Roses. Oh, hold on. It's all right, we just got a little warning.
10 minutes left.
Yeah. But no, I think the bands that did it for me was Stone Roses at Etihad and Wembley. Like they somehow created this like huge atmosphere. It was mental.
That was a good gig. I went to one at the Etihad. That was really good. Yeah, amazing.
I know never quite been at a gig where the atmosphere like it was just like electric. It was amazing. I remember like after the gig thinking like, wow, like that was really like an amazing experience. But like you said, the smaller gigs are where it's at.
Yeah.
Keep supporting the unsigned industry.
Definitely.
Gig tickets are cheaper. You have a better time. You get 2 Red Stripes for £5.
Yeah. Always
rather than paying £8 in London at a big venue.
Exactly.
And you don't often get a piss thrown over you. So
what can we say? We're selling it here. But it's always worth checking out, isn't it? Wherever you live, there's always going to be like a venue within an hour or so from where you live that always has like really good live music.
Yeah, definitely. And if people don't know that, they can either Google or feel free to message the Pentatonic, and we will find or suggest a band to come watch near you. Like, we're happy to do that because there's so many like good venues. It is hard to find somewhere, especially if you just move somewhere. So feel free to like give us a shout, and we'll point you in the right direction.
Nice, that's really nice. So we've got an exciting year, hopefully, for the Pentatonic. And as I say, we've got more podcasts coming up. Next up, or I don't know if we're doing them in order, but I know that I'm recording one, hopefully with Tom from the Lottery Winners tomorrow. Although we did have a quick chat and say that it is, as we're recording, it is New Year's Eve tomorrow. So we may have to change the date, because he said, you know, it's New Year's Eve, and I was like, don't really know what day it is at the moment, to be honest. But...
Just do it at midnight and see how fun the podcast will be.
Yeah.
Oh God, can you imagine with Tom how hilarious that would
be? We've got him on the radio show next week as well. So
I'm looking forward to talking to him. He's really funny, but also at the same time, I'm like, oh God, he's going to rip me for something or other.
Yeah, you've got to have your wits about you.
You really do.
I'm already preparing, and I've got a week. I'm already getting prepared.
Got like 27 hours.
Get ready for it.
I'm gonna get the bottle of champagne open at 6 p.m. an hour before. But no, we've got some good. We're going to be doing part 2, fingers crossed, with Reverend and the Makers, John, Reverend and the Makers, who was our first official podcast, wasn't he? When was that? Like back in April.
Yeah, live from San Francisco, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. I wonder where he'll be this time. I might ask him to choose another place to broadcast from. That was good fun. And we've got Garden Party. We've got the K's, Jamie from the K's. Hopefully try and get Ryan involved as well, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we've got lots of good stuff.
Great bands. Yeah. And us.
And you guys, of course.
Yeah. We're going to do one with you, Sam.
Hey?
We're going to do one with you as well.
Is this not what we're doing now? Or what do you mean? Like I'm going to be the guest?
We're going to win. Yeah, you're going to be the guest.
My mind was like...
We're going to swap roles. And I confused myself for a minute, to be honest.
No, it would be good. But so just fingers crossed then for a more happy and healthy 2021. Get this bastard virus gone.
Well, I've actually got some bands that... So every year on our website, thepentatonic.co.uk, we do, well, I like to do a big in whatever the next year is top 10 list. So this year it's Pentatonic. Sorry, I've done it for you, Sam. It's the Pentatonic picks big in 2021 top 10 list, and it's going to be out tomorrow. So obviously this podcast will be out, and the list has already been out. But we're going back in time.
You will have already seen it because you're all...
This is a weird, time capsule.
It is,
like, the list will be out.
Strange, isn't it?
The list is out already. Check out the list. It's already out.
Check out the list, but I'm going to tell you which bands made the list anyway, because I can. At number 10, we had the Haciendas, who are a fantastic up-and-coming band from Manchester. Released the first single the other week, and I think they're going to be big in 2021. And we've got Casuals, a band that me and Stu have worked with from the very start since they formed. We've had them on loads of gigs, and they're doing great, and not many people know about them. So if you've not heard of Casuals, go and check them out. The Lutras at number 8 from Scotland, they are top. The Christmas song that they've just released is one of the best songs this year.
Give it up for Christmas. What an amazing song.
Tune. It's amazing, that, isn't it? I love it. So that's why they're on the list. The AV Club from Warrington, a top band. We've had them on the show, on the radio show. They're doing really well. They're releasing loads of tunes next year, I think. So they're ones to watch. Flechettes from Wigan as well. I've known Jack for ages. He used to manage him when he was solo. And they're going to have a massive year. I know they've got some new tunes coming. So a nice follow-up to their last single, Chasing Youth. So they're at number 6. Number 5, I've got my mate James Hartley, who is also doing one of these podcasts. And I think you'll find it very entertaining interviewing him, Sam, because he likes to talk. So
that's me and Owen did our one-on-one, and we just went on for like an hour.
I think it's about 2 hours long or something. So James Hartley's on the list at number 5. Then we've got Garden Party, we mentioned. They've got to be massive next year. it's going to be. They've released In the Middle this year.
And I know that Kieran, that does a lot of their songwriting, he's been delving into like really good influences for their new music. Like, if you say to me, I've just written a song that's just like so and so or so and so. He's so enthusiastic. So yeah. I love them.
Top band, really nice lads as well. And Cobain Jones as well, he's just been signed to Modern Sky.
He has.
So obviously he had to make the list because he is going to be. He's sort of slowly climbed up and up and up over the past year, I think. So I think next year is going to be his year. The Claws as well from Birmingham, they're literally ready to go now. They're going to be massive next year.
They're such a good band.
And they've not released a song really this year, have they?
No, I think it was last year because I saw them in Birmingham last year, in December, and I don't think they've really done much since then.
No, so loads of music next year probably. Can't wait for that. And number one, we've got Stanley's because we've worked with Stanley's since when no one knew of Stanley's. Just putting it in there.
We knew them first.
Yeah, we saw them first.
They've got a lot of. Do you know? They've got a lot of brand new music coming, and it's gonna be amazing.
I've had a sneaky little listen, and from what I've heard, it's gonna be really good. So when it's out, go and check it out. Stanley's, they're gonna be massive next year.
They are gonna be. They are such a brilliant band, and again, just really really nice guys. And they were supposed to be at our show in October, so they were the ones that got really poorly. Yeah. But Stanley's gonna be big.
Definitely.
Right, we've got 2 minutes before we're cut off from Zoom.
Ooh, Zoom. See, we should have done Google Meets.
I know, we could have been chatting for hours.
We would have been here all flipping day. Trouble is, when you with Google, it's always security things. It's like, oh
yeah,
date of birth, what's your favourite meal?
No, I can't be doing with all that. Zoom, nice and straightforward. Just record it. We're sorted then.
We'll get some sponsorship off Zoom for the next one, shall we?
Yeah, we should.
Nobody Talks Anymore podcast series 2, sponsored by Zoom.
Sponsored by Zoom. Oh, well, it's been lovely chatting to you guys. Lovely to catch up.
And
feels like ages ago since we were in all together gigging.
It really does. It does. So fingers crossed we'll be able to do another event next year and you can come back to Manchester.
I'd love to. I would love to. Right then. So thank you so much. So our first podcast done of the season 2. Yay! Well, I wish you both a very happy new year. Happy, healthy 2021. And like you say, hopefully we'll be back in Manchester soon. We can do something again.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But all the best with your ventures and your radio show as well, James.
Cheers, Sam. Thanks.
All right, guys. Right, I'm going to end.
You too.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.